Yo, what is going on, guys? Tyro here, aka the Light Skin Gamer LSG, and welcome to my Mortal Kombat X review, and this is going to be regarding the PC version. Now, just to let you guys know why the review was so late, because I was actually trying to push this back because I'm actually going to be ordering something pretty soon, but I can't tell you guys that. But I just had to go ahead and share my thoughts. I had to go review this game because I have a lot to say about Mortal Kombat X. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. Before I go ahead and cover the story, the gameplay, the stuff I didn't like, I'm actually going to give you a backstory of how I got interested in this game and just a backstory of MKX. So MKX is actually taking place after, I think it's like 20 years after the events of Mortal Kombat, that Mortal Kombat 9, or like people like to call it, the last MK that they ended up releasing. And if you didn't know what the last MK was, it was a recap of 1, 2, and 3, the first 3 Mortal Kombats, and they actually altered the story a lot, so it's actually a different story, and they did it in a fantastic way. I love that story, and it actually ended with Shinnok, talking to Quan Chi. Kind of looked like he was from like another realm or something like that, which he technically is, but like something like a Shadow Realm in Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that. He was trapped. He couldn't get out. But he was just basically saying, I'm planning my escape, blah blah blah, all that evil stuff. So with that being said, guys, I was hyped for this game. It's just like it turned me into a hype beast or something.
Feel it. I feel the adrenaline in it, baby! Double D! Double
It was ridiculous. I could not wait for this game because I already knew from the last MK I played that the new one that they're going to come out with is going to be a heavy hitter. I just hoped that it would live up to its hype. Now, let's just go ahead and actually go over the story for a minute. So, the story, after playing through it, it was relatively short, which I kind of didn't like. I actually did like the fact that they tried to focus on some new characters and add more of those in. Like, actually most of the newer characters are actually my favorites, and they actually fight so much different from any other MK character that I think I've really ever encountered. So they just didn't end up just saying, you know what, let's just go ahead and redo 4, 5, and 6, like Deadly Alliance and Deception and stuff like that, and just add all those characters and just like remix them a little bit. No, they actually ended up adding new characters and actually changing the storyline, which and just shows innovation right there. But at the same time, the story was just so damn short. I just wish the story was a lot longer. They actually ended up playing QTEs in the story instead of you just sitting through a cinematic movie by making the player more engaged into the story. So the way they did the story, I actually like. It still kept that formula of the last MK, but at the exact same time, I just wish that it would have been a little bit longer. That was my only complaint. And some of the characters felt a little bland, like Aaron Black. Like, I know some people really love him from the comic book, but I wish they would have covered more on these mysterious characters like Kotal Khan basically stealing, Shao Kahn's spot and stuff like that, or where the fuck did the Devore come from, and why they had to kill Baraka so fast. It was just like so many answers that were just left, or so many questions left unanswered, and I just wish the story would have ended up filling that. But I'm not knocking the story. The story was good, just wish it was longer. It covered a little bit more on some of these newer characters. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get done with that. Let's actually move on to the gameplay. The gameplay is the best out of any MK I've ever played. They actually added variations to it. There are basically 3 different ways to play each character. Now, the variations completely different from each character. Some can have just some moves taken away, just have a few here and there and stuff like that. Yeah, they make you play the character a lot differently, but at the same time, it's not like that huge of a, oh, this character has completely different combos and this and that and blah blah blah. It's just like the special moves and what those special moves do, like Sub-Zero's Grandmaster, where he makes ice clones and actually throws them at you, where in any other variation that is not present. So that is actually pretty cool, and some of the variations are pretty unique in my opinion, and some were just kind of like, felt like they were kind of thrown in there, But don't get me wrong, I totally dig the variations. It's showing innovation, unlike some fighting games out on the market that really just feel like rehashing the exact same thing. Street Fighter, Tekken. No, there's no salt thrown at any of those. I even grew up on those games. But it's just good to see a game out there that I did grow up on that is not afraid to go above and beyond. And they also did innovate by adding in new brutalities to where they're basically like, if you remember in the first Killer Instinct, it was something called a ultimate. Basically, in the middle of a combo, You press a few buttons here and there, and you do a nice finisher before like their health is completely gone. And in Mortal Kombat X, they ended up implementing it, and that is pretty freaking sick. And that's a new way to finish off your enemies. And the fatalities, bruh, don't even get me started on the fatalities. They made them more gruesome, and even the X-rays can even be freaking fatalities, man. I don't care what nobody says. Kotal Khan's X-ray is the dopest one next to freaking Liu Kang's, where he just beats the living shit out of you. And then you saw Jackie's, where she completely destroys your ribcage. That is crazy, man. The X-rays was just completely dope. The fatalities were dope. The brutalities were just amazing. Everything that they added to this game was for the better, and everything that they added, I did not have one single problem with. I'm pretty sure that's why it's the #1 selling game right now. So let's just go ahead and get into the very few things that I did not like about this game. One thing, this is going to be regarding the PC version. I know all my fellow PC players out there feel me on this. When the game first came out, there was this streaming installation thing, and that's if you pre-purchase the game, you can preload it, and then you can play the game while it's installing, but it just did not work like that, and it completely went to shit, so it really wasn't playable the very first night when it came out, while it was saying it was available on the store. And then even if you didn't want to go ahead and do that streaming installation, you couldn't download the entire game, so you're just stuck there with 3 gigabytes and a main menu. So yeah, that's one thing I didn't like, was the terrible launch that it had. But they ended up making that up, you know, giving us some coins or something like that, giving us exclusive costumes that we can unlock in the crypt that aren't anywhere else and stuff like that. But another thing I did not like are the keyboard controls. They're pretty garbage. I wish that they would end up at least, you know, giving you, I think there's like no key input at all, and that's kind of garbage. So I would definitely recommend you using some type of gamepad, because keyboard, that's not gonna work. And also, when the game first came out, it was optimized like shit. I mean, it's playable, trust me, no doubt in my mind, it's playable. As you can see, I still have the Kaveri system, and it's able to play this game. But like I said, man, it was just optimized like crap. It's playable, but it can be a lot better. But anyway, that's just gonna go ahead and wrap up the very few things that I didn't like. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give this game a rating. I'm gonna have to go ahead and give this game I gotta go ahead and give it a 8.5 out of 10. It was so close to being a 9 just because the launch wasn't good. But I'm not gonna go ahead and say what game's launch isn't good. But no, man, that's still unacceptable. It should have been better. Steam should have worked something out with them, because I know it's not completely NetherRealm's fault, because, you know, Steam been basically fucking up lately. So no, I don't completely blame them. I mean, they are part of the blame for allowing that fucking bullshit. But at the same time, man, the launch would have been better, optimized better controls for the PC. It would have been, you know, this is the PC review. This is not. But if I was to literally judge it as a complete game, definitely 9 out of 10. But the PC version definitely gets a definite 8.5 out of 10. So that ends my Mortal Kombat X review. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below, and I hope you guys go ahead and at least try this game out or something like that. I definitely recommend this game at full price. Definitely plenty of content. You're gonna have a fucking blast with it. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and that is it, guys. Tyrogue is out.